Why Milsim might not be for you. Milsim, compared to a standard pickup game, has a well-defined chain of commands with a military-like structure. It's a ton of fun for some people, but if you are like many Airsoft players out there and prefer to just go straight into the action, Milsim might not be the right fit for you. What is a Milsim, you might ask? Milsim is a subset of Airsoft that replicates real-life military operation. It's about realism, discipline, and following strict military-style rules. Long-duration battles, complicated objectives, advanced tactics, and coordination that mirrors how military units operate in the field. These events can last for several hours or days and often involve large groups of players who are split into teams tasked with completing missions like capturing objectives, defending positions, or completing recon. But while it has the reputation of always being super strict, in reality it's not that strict most of the time. Of course, there are some hardcore Milsims, but that is rarely the case. Anyhow, Milsim games are as far removed from casual skirmishes as you can get. It's about teamwork, discipline, strategy, and patience. You'll be spending a lot of time moving tactically, communicating with your team, and carefully planning your next move. It's intense, strategic, and sometimes grueling. But that's exactly why it's not for everyone. Here are some factors to take into consideration. The time commitment. If you are someone who loves a quick, casual Airsoft game that you can fit into a Saturday afternoon, Milsim is going to feel like a drag. Milsim events are not your typical show up, shoot, and go home kind of games. These events often last for hours, if not days, with multiple phases, objectives, and even overnight camps and activities. You might show up early in the morning and then spend the entire day moving through dense forests, communicating with your team, and executing missions, all with minimal downtime. And if it's a multi-day event, you are camping out, sleeping under the stars, or in some cases huddling under tarp in pouring rain, all while preparing for the next day of action. This level of commitment isn't for everyone and can get a bit much for a regular flick-up game Airsofter. Another factor, one of the core aspects of Milsim is the military discipline. If you've ever played a typical Airsoft game, you know that it's fast, loose, and more about having fun than strictly following rules. But Milsim, things are different. You follow a military-style chain of command, use military tactics, and communicate like you are actually part of an organized unit, meaning you cannot do whatever the hell you want. Milsim players often are required to wear authentic military uniforms fitting their fraction dress code, including tactical vests, helmets, and other gear. The level of formality can be a turnoff for players who are used to the more laid-back, fun aspect of Airsoft. The lack of fast-paced action. The majority of players like that Airsoft is quick and exciting. You can jump into battle, zip around, take out some enemies, and leave feeling like a tactical mastermind. But in the world of Milsim, that lightning-fast action you might be used to slows way down, which means you'll spend a lot of time doing things like stalking through the woods, crouching behind cover, and waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike, which is actually kind of exciting and thrilling, but it can drag a little bit. You have to think about the bigger picture, the success of the mission, and how your movements contribute to the team's overall success. Milsim events often require patience and the ability to stay calm under pressure. If you enjoy the thrill of fast-paced speedsoft or CQB action, Milsim will feel like a slow slog through the woods instead of engaging in quick firefights. The need for tactical knowledge. When it comes to Milsim, you can't just show up and expect to, wing it. While most anyone can join a Milsim, you'll be placed on a team that aligns with your level of experience. In many Milsim events, you'll be part of a squad or platoon that has to work together to achieve specific goals, and every member needs to know their role and stick to the plan. Another good option is to join your friend's squad and be carried by them if you lack the experience, which basically means they will look after you, telling you the how-tos, do's, and don'ts. However, it can probably feel a bit overwhelming at first. You'll be expected to operate as part of a larger team and follow a structured set of instructions. This could involve navigating complicated terrain, executing specific mission plans, and ensuring that you are in constant communication with your team. It's not as simple as just shooting your way to victory. There is a lot more that goes into it. If you are not a big fan of learning and memorizing military tactics, then Milsim can feel like a crash course in military operations that you didn't sign up for, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's a steep learning curve that doesn't cater to players who want to show up, have fun, and leave without any major commitment. The gear and expenses. Speaking of commitment, let's talk about gear. If you thought your current Airsoft setup was enough for most games, think again. No high-cap magazines allowed. Sometimes there is even a limit on the number of BBs you can carry on your person. Milsim events often also require players to invest in specialized gear to match the Milsim aesthetic and meet the performance demands of the game. This could mean buying camouflage uniforms, tactical vests, helmets, radios, and more. You might also need to get specific loadouts or upgrades for your guns to match the demands of the event. Real ballistic protection or weighted vests offer advantage such as extra life when hit, but are quite heavy to carry around the whole day. And since Milsims are usually partially played in the dark, a good torch, thermal, or NVG can be useful, but you can have fun without it as well. And let's not forget that Milsim games are long, sometimes multi-day events, which means you'll need to invest in things like camping gear, food, and water. If you are someone who's used to picking up a few mags, your AEG, and heading to the field for a quick scrimmage, you may find the amount of preparation and money required for a Milsim game pretty off-putting. And also, you will have to carry most of that stuff throughout the entire game. For players who are used to the more budget-friendly, casual side of Airsoft, Milsim can feel like a financial and logistical burden. The cringe level. Milsim can be cringy for some. You might see people with no experience leading a team or a platoon giving out bad commands. While it's sometimes frowned upon, they might want to be addressed by their made-up rank or maybe even with a salute. Now, that is great for immersion into the role if everyone takes it seriously. If not, it can become a bit weird. As always, the people make it either good or bad. Alright, conclusion. Is Milsim worth it? Whether it's the time commitment, the need for military discipline, the lack of fast-paced action, the steep learning curve, or the serious gear investment, Milsim is a whole different ballgame for the Airsoft games you might be used to. But it's also a lot of fun if you are willing to give it a go. Airsoft is a big community, and the beauty of it is that there are so many ways to enjoy the game. If you love fast-paced skirmishes, casual play, and working with your friends, there is no need to jump into the deep end of Milsim. That's it with this one. See you in the next one.